All right, LaShonda, whenever you. Hello, everyone. I am Hattie Portis Jones, and I serve as Secretary of the South Metro Democratic Women's Council. The organization's purpose is to create awareness and facilitate support for various social issues and programs that concern women in the South Metro surrounding area. The council is extending an invitation to all eligible candidates from each of the South Metro Democratic Women Council cities for the upcoming municipal election in the South Metro area. An email has been sent to each qualifying participant to participate in our interview series. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing candidate Miss Eliese Fisher from the City of South Fulton, who is running for the position of City Council District 4. Ms. Fisher, thank you so much for allowing me specifically and South Metro Democratic Women's Council to interview you. With that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman, for having me. Thank you to the council for inviting me, and I am truly excited to be here. Most people know that Mom and I moved here to the South Fulton area in the first quarter of 2016. Ever since I moved here, I have been involved in community activity, right? I became a member of the community in early 2016 with the purchase of my current home. I completed my move by March. I registered to vote by April, and I attended the first community meeting, the Cedar Grove Community Association General Body meeting that May. Surprisingly, that very night, I was invited to join the board. And I did because I thought it would help me make friends, meet new neighbors, and truly feel like this new community was my home. As I think about my involvement overall here in our community, one of my core values is fairness. My desire to reduce the unfairness and inequities I saw here in South Fulton is what drove me to accept an invitation to join the cityhood movement. I spent May through October of 2016 canvassing, literally going door to door, talking to hundreds of neighbors about the cityhood movement, trying to educate them on why it existed and why they needed to vote for it. After we won, I put my time and attention into doing what I could to help establish our new city. And I have remained engaged ever since, advocating for our community on all sorts of matters, everything from pushing for action on matters of public safety, particularly in the areas that fall under the purview of our fire department and could potentially impact both our home values and our insurance rates. Helping to organize and facilitate more than 24 political candidate and elected official events, be they forums or debates or meets and greets, town halls, all sorts, including the first ever mayoral and district forum that occurred here in our newly established city. Aggressively pursuing action regarding matters of planning, zoning, environmental justice, and economic empowerment, right? That's the foundation of any thriving city. Demanding that developers adhere to existing community overlays throughout our city, and especially here in the Cedar Grove community, even when what we require was maybe more stringent than what the city or the county required. And on top of all that, I've led and served several citizen volunteer teams, including the City of South Fulton Economic Development Strategic Plan Committee. I did that in 2019. District 4 Economic Development Committee, that was a small committee of just District 4 residents. That was 2017 and 2018. Fulton County Juvenile Court Citizen Review Panel, that's been since 2018. And then of course, establishing that committee to establish a foundation here in the City of South Fulton. I've been engaged in that since 2018.
You have
Sorry.
provided, yes, you provided us an extensive resume of your involvement in the community. So what of those things made you to decide to transition from community advocate to a political candidate running for the council seat in District 4?
Well, when I look at the past 4 years and what has been accomplished in our community and what remains to be accomplished, I think there's too much more work to be done. Still work to be done in all of those areas. And as I think about how long it took me to educate myself on all of those matters and become a voice of the community, that if I don't want the progress we've made to fall back, then I have no choice but to step up. Right? It is my responsibility to keep speaking on behalf of this community, to keep representing this community in ways that help us be more livable and more enjoyable. Right? When I think about all of the ways in which we can do better, I think about them as points of failure. Right? Every time we have to drive 30 minutes or more when we need acute critical care, or we need to see a primary care physician, or we need a 24-hour pharmacy, every time we have to drive 30 minutes or more for that, that's a point of failure in my community. Every time we have to fight with Union City or engage in undesirable conversation with them in a warehouse on our border, that's a point of failure in the community. Every time I have to travel more than 7 miles to reach a credit union or a bank or anything other than a payday loan or a pawn shop place, that's a failure for my community. We deserve better than that. Anytime we have to travel more than 30 minutes to get to a sit-down restaurant that has something more than fried and fast on the menu, that's a failure in my community. We've earned better than that. We have beautiful homes out here. We have, rolling hills, the great landscape. It is a beautiful place to live. We should be able to live here fully. And right now we can't.
And is that your platform? That is why you are running? Those are the things that you are wanting to accomplish if you are elected?
Yes. And we can use the common language that is used around this, right? We talk about planning and zoning. We talk about economic development. We talk about, having nice restaurants and having entertainment options and having things for our seniors and our community and our children, our youth. We can use all that common language. Now, livability, right? Whether we're talking about entertainment or access to healthcare or any one of those other topics. Right? When you think about those warehouses and all of those trucks, it's a huge environmental safety concern in that space. So it doesn't matter what the topic is out here in our area. We want to make it a better place to live. We want to improve the quality of life for the members of our community.
So what makes
that's holistic.
And what makes you qualified for this role?
Oh my gosh, I've been doing it since 2016. In addition to that, so if you're asking for like my formal education, say probably from a community perspective, I've gone to every citizens university out there that I could go to. I've gone to the Fulton County Citizens University. I've done Fulton County Sheriff's Office Citizens University. I even was in inaugural class for the City of South Fulton Citizens University, right? So I've taken the time to learn that. I've taken the time to build around me members of the community who have been for a very long time and know where to go for all sorts of matters. And so I learned years ago, my freshman year in college, that I wasn't going to learn everything. I wasn't going to be able to retain everything, but I am able to help the folks who know this or who know that or who know something else and use that knowledge in the collective to advance any initiative. And so, I have surrounded myself with many educated, talented people who know this space and can help me.
Well, the past
my formal education, I am undergrad of Cornell University, Ivy League in upstate New York. I did my graduate studies in business at Darden, the Graduate School of Business. It's a part of UVA. I have had more than 30 years of corporate experience. I cut my teeth in finance at GE in their premier financial management trainee program. From there, went on and did general management consulting. And even when I went back to corporations, whether it was GE on the capital side or Kraft Foods or any of the other banner organizations that I've worked for, consulting is essentially what I've done. And so I consult on everything from financial management to operations to strategy to org effectiveness, you name it. And I have studied and worked in that space. There's really only one industry that I've never been exposed to. That's precious metals.
So it is often said that people in business don't know government and vice versa. What do you say to that response? And how do you transition or use your skills and expertise in corporate America to deal in government?
So two things. One, let me start here. When I look at the role of a city council person, you have three main jobs. First one is to advocate for your community. To advocate for your community, you actually have to listen to what they want and help figure out how to get it, right? That is no different from figuring out what your customer wants and figuring out whether or not you can deliver that at, a fair market price for everybody, right? Being an advocate is number one. The second is educate, right? An informed constituency will help you make better decisions. And so you have to make sure that your community is educated, that they understand the issues, they understand the impact those issues have, and they understand the ways in which they can engage to affect an outcome, right? Again, this is what you do in business as well, right? When I say I was a consultant, I essentially work, people think consulting is like this sexy space to be in because you travel all over the place and you work for so many different corporations. What they don't tell you is that for the most part, you find yourself working in the dredges of an organization, working in that space with the problems they couldn't figure out what to do with themselves, right? And so educating people on what the possibilities are and how to go about impacting their own organizations to achieve the outcomes they want. I've done that my entire career. So yeah, I can do that in this space as well. And I believe I have done so. Well, I say I believe, I know I've done so since 2016, right? You don't do all of the forums and all of the focus groups and all of the meeting groups. You don't do all of those things without providing some education along the way, without figuring out what the topics are that people want to learn about and then providing them a vehicle for that, right? So advocate, educate. The third piece is legislate. Right? That's new space. And quite honestly, that's the space where I see a shortfall in our current representation, right? That's the space I need to be in. That's the space where I think we're going to be able to get more progress faster.
Well, thank you for that. And you're running at a time where we're in the midst of a pandemic. We thought we were coming out of it, but here we are, and here we go again with a different variant to deal with. That being said, what legislative priorities would you push or support, given that the backdrop is COVID-19 and its variants?
I think the space that we haven't pushed enough on has to do with our relationship with Union City and all of the work, all of the undesirable developments they're putting in our border without regard at all for even our buffer requirements, right? I think that a state solution is going to be required there. And I think that we have to fight to make that happen. I don't think we're fighting hard enough yet.
All right, so we want to be cognizant of your time, but please tell us why you are the best candidate for this position, why your constituents should vote for you, and what else that we need to know about you.
So I've been in this fight. I've been in this fight since 2016, and mostly I've been in this fight without. I've been in this fight since 2016. Let's keep it clean. So let's stay there. I've been in this fight since 2016. I'm ready to do more, and I actually have the time to do more. I am my own boss, and so I set my own work schedule. I have I've done fairly well for myself in that, all my college loans are paid, all my homes are paid. There is nothing, I don't owe anyone anything, right? And so I'm not looking to gain for, putting my kids through college or planning for, I've done all that. I have the free time, I have the interest, and I have the capability to get it done.
Well, thank you so much, Eliese. And we really appreciate you sharing your perspective on who you are, why you're running, and why the constituents of South Fulton District 4 should vote for you. With that, on behalf of the South Metro Democratic Women's Council, again, thank you and good luck.
Thank you. I appreciated the opportunity.